We are live. So, yeah, today is a regular GSoC special interest group meeting. Today is May 29th, so it means that the first coding period has officially started. Yeah, as we discussed before, we actually expect all students to start coding and start delivering on their projects. And yeah, this is the main objective for the next 4 weeks. If I recall correctly, the coding period ends on June 24th. So June 24th is the first date where we will have evaluations, and by this time we expect students to complete the most of the planned work for the first phase. And after June 24th, I'm not sure what would be the exact date, maybe June 26th. We will have online meetup in order to present the projects and to talk about their progress. So basically, demos to be conducted by students. The format is yet to be decided. I will start the discussion as soon as possible. But yeah, I believe that it will be just 2 meetings because yeah, we have students who mostly operate on mornings in European time zone, and some students operate on evenings. So I believe that we will have 2 sessions for Jenkins Online Meetup so that we split the presentations and get everything delivered. So as usual, it will be dual for the sessions. Regarding the rest, we expect all students that they finalize community bonding action items because we see that not everything was completed in all projects. So if you haven't completed your checklist for community bonding, please do it as soon as possible. And if you need any help from org admins or from mentors, please let us know as soon as possible. For example, knowledge transfers, if you lack any information about the code or just assistance to create your GitHub repositories, to create teams on GitHub and all other such administrative things. If you still need something, please let us know. Okay, basically that's what I wanted to talk about. If we have any questions, we can just discuss them, or maybe other org admins who would like to add something.
Hi, Oleg.
Yep.
Actually, I wanted to talk about my design document. My design document isn't totally complete, but I have I have streamlined the major classes and major functions that I am going to define throughout my project. But I think rather than planning everything on the go, maybe while implementing, I'll add stuff that would be easier for me to do.
Yep.
So
So
is
just
that okay?
yeah, it's okay. So just to clarify purpose of design documents is not something slated in stone. We don't need specification for your projects or whatever. The whole purpose of design documents is that you know what to implement, you know order, and that you spend some time on a reality mapping with mentors. So as long as you have a clear plan what to do in the first coding phase and what you expected to deliver, I think it's fine. So we don't need the design docs just for design docs.
Okay.
Yep.
So by the end of releasing the plugin, that design document would uh, have a mini guide sort of thing and all the necessary ideas that future users and authors would require to
Mm.
extend or use the plugin.
Yeah. So what usually happens with design doc contents? Some of them go to introductory blog posts, to project description pages on Jenkins.io. Some documentation goes to READMEs and developer documents within your plugin repositories. So once GSoC project completes, basically we do not longer use these design documents. So yeah, you're welcome to just move all your design document, for example, to developer documentation or whatever in your repository, and that's it. If it's comfortable with you, why not? Okay. Anything else? Okay, I'll probably share my screen so that we can take a look at the board. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to Jenkins Jira. Okay, this is another board. Yeah, Google Summer of Code 2019. So yeah, here we see a pretty long backlog, but yeah, what we should be seeing now, yeah, we have first coding phase and a number of tasks. And yeah, here we can easily see what is the statuses in projects. So some projects have tasks created, some projects are not. For example, for plugin management tooling, there are either no tasks or they haven't been labeled properly. Let's take a look, by the way. Okay, so yeah, there is no tasks inside. So yeah, if you are mentors, please work with the students so that you have this list of tasks, because as org admins, we need this information in order to track progress. So as long as everything is fine, we won't need this information. But once everything goes not fine, for example, you have issues in the project, we need to make a decision whether the project passes evaluation or not, then all this information will be used. And it's in your interest to have this information on board so that you have, oh, sorry, am I still audible?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Do you hear me now? So yeah, what happened is that my headphones ran out of charge, and then everything goes south. Okay. So yeah, now it's clear. So yeah, if you're a student, it's in your own interest to have a dashboard in place and to have all references to ongoing work in place, because yeah, you will need it as org admins and as mentors to do the first coding phase evaluation. So yeah, this one is a multi-branch pipeline support. I believe it's just a mess because yeah, I created some stories. I will make sure that they are closed. But yeah, for projects where there is no tickets, please make sure to create ones. So these ones are probably not categorized well because yeah, I believe that there will at least some stories here. Yeah, they're just not, well, they're even labeled correctly. So I will check what's going on there. Okay. So yeah, this is the board. What are the information we have in mind? Yeah, again, you can refer to Jenkins GSoC students. So yeah, some of our expectations actually listed here. So what we expected that yeah, students are working full time, starting from very first day. If it's not a case, again, if it wasn't disclosed during community bonding, please let us know as soon as possible. If yeah, or at least contact your mentors, and we will expect you to actually start pushing code often. We expect you to interact with the community, to have regular sync-ups with your mentors during the entire coding phase. And yeah, depending on the approach, you either have your own repositories and maybe have a small pull request there, or you contribute to existing plugins like it happens in same projects. But again, the best practice is to deliver often and to have smaller pull requests so that you don't have one mega pull request at the end of the coding phase, which none of mentors can properly review. What else do we have here? Basically, that's it. So yeah, if you need a break, you take a break. Yeah, you communicate with mentors, and yeah, be online in your time zone. So yeah, our assumption that you work full time or almost full time on the project. The availability times have been discussed during project meetings. And we basically expect you that you somehow stay online So, for example, if somebody asks you in the chat and if you do not reply for 3 days, it's something which will be a concern for org admins unless it's a holiday or weekend. So during common working days, yeah, we expect you to be more or less online. Okay. Any questions? Do I still have issues with my audio?
It's goes in and out, your audio. I do have a question, actually, Oleg.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So-
if there are issues with my audio, just interrupt me, because it's better that you interrupt me, that people do not get information.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question is, as I was trying to review project status, even for my project, I find that the discussions are scattered over Gitter, mailing list, GitHub issues, and Jira issues sometimes.
Yeah.
Personally, as a mentor and as an org admin, I prefer to see the discussions taking place in the mailing list because it's easier to go back and find information and find project status.
Yeah. So what would be your proposal?
To use the mailing list as much as possible and minimize the Gitter chat.
Well,
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah, so what I would say that, yeah, for common discussions like projects, etc., yeah, let's use mailing list as much as possible. And I don't think that we are doing a good job about that. So yeah, we should ensure that we communicate plans, etc., in this public meeting. So yeah, this is something we should do. But for projects themselves, for coding, yeah, to be honest, I don't think that we should set a plan, because we have Jira issues. They have been created for a purpose, so it's fine to discuss changes there. Pretty much the same pull requests. Pull requests are designed for reviews, so it's better to do reviews and pull requests, not mailing lists. And Gitter chat, since the student and mentors are more or less online, it's also fine to use it. So yeah, mailing list is rather when you need to bring up something from the Jenkins developer. At least it would be my approach. What do others think? So mentors, students, what's your preference?
I'm sorry, my audio is cutting in and out. Could you repeat the question?
What do you think about communications?
My preference is for really short communications, the Gitter channel is fine. For anything that would require, like a student asking for a question and they're expecting a detailed answer, I would prefer the mailing list, because that way we keep a track of it. Sometimes a lot of conversation can get lost in the Gitter channel and it's not adequately tracked. So I think for very short questions or things like that, it's okay. I think updates and things like that should be in the mailing list, but that's just my preference.
Okay. So yeah, what we really need to have is meeting minutes. So when you have meetings, please put down the information to meeting minutes. But yeah, regarding communication, maybe it's just up to each project to define the communication way. What is our expectation as org admins is that we should be able to intervene if it's needed. So, for example, if something goes wrong in the project, that we should be able to understand the context, we should be able to understand what's going on there and what's not going on there. So for me, Gitter is good enough. Yeah, Martin and Jeff, you're right that if we use the meeting mailing list more, it would be helpful. But yeah, for runtime communications, just that, I believe. So yeah, I participated in GSoC 3 years before, and each year we were not really using mailing list for communications instead for the coding period, except the general developer mailing list questions. If other projects are fine, want to have use more mailing list, why not try doing so?
Sounds good, Oleg.
Yeah. So mailing list is not requirement. If you agree with that, requirement that there is transparency in the project. So that yeah, by using communication channels listed on project pages, org admins and other contributors can understand what's going on in the project.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, I'll put it down. Yeah, sorry for my audio today, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, I think that what we really need to reconsider on our side as worker means to do more communications via mailing list. Because yeah, this year, mostly because of lack of time, we were doing many communications using recorded meetings. Yeah. Although video blogs is a format of communicating things, probably it's not ideal.
Oleg, what's the expectations for the first evaluation?
So as a part of your application, as a part of community bonding and design work, you defined a number of stories to be completed together with mentors. So our expectation for the first evaluation is that first all community bonding tasks are completed, but yeah, we hope that everything is completed now. And then there is a significant part of tasks delivered. So yeah, life happens. Sometimes the project may go in another direction, but our expectation is that stories are delivered, a significant part of them, and mentors are fine with what was delivered. So yeah, let's say you have 10 tasks in Jira, you delivered 5, and mentors are fine with it, then yeah, evaluation biased, we are fine with it. If you have 5 tasks completed and mentors are not fine, then we start digging in. So yeah, something like that. Does it make sense?
So it's really between the student and their mentors. That's the agreement that needs to take place for what is expected of each phase of the project.
Exactly.
So you work with your mentors, you decide
Mhm.
what's going to be the goal for the phase 1, and it's the mentors are responsible for setting the expectations with the student.
Yeah. So basically, all few the steps are between students and mentors. Org admins are here to help you if something is needed. But yeah, all the real work happens between the student and his mentors or her mentors. And obviously, if you have some communication issues, something is not clear, please talk to mentors. If it doesn't help, if you still experience issues, please let org admins know. So org admins can help when something goes wrong, and this is our job. But as long as everything goes well, we won't intervene in projects, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, anything else to discuss today? I guess not. Really, Polichai, any questions?
That will be all. Actually, I got disconnected for like I couldn't hear for the last 2-3 minutes. It's okay. I got your point.
Okay. Are we there?
You heard me?
What's all this discussion about the Zoom video?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we are considering switching to Zoom for online meetups and maybe for meetings, because these meetings have a limit of number of participants, so no more than 10. And for some discussions, we have issues with that. So for example, when we were doing cross-strategy KTs, when we were doing meetings and sometimes office hours, it wasn't enough to have 10 people. And using Zoom is one of the ways to solve that. So maybe we will be just moving to another platform for recording meetings. And one of another reasons that if you're in China using Google Hangouts, you may have issues with it. So it's also one of points why we consider the Zoom.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yep. So for you, it shouldn't really change much. So Zoom is rather for recorded meetings. For meetings between mentors and students, just use whatever you want. So it's something up to you guys to decide, but usually it's fine to use Hangouts. The problem that if you want to record Hangouts, you need help from somebody from org admins. All GSoC org admins are eligible to get permissions to run recordings from the Jenkins account. So Martin already has these permissions. I'm not sure about you, Jeff and Marke. Probably it makes sense for you to request these permissions. But we can run recorded meetings. With Zoom, you can just record the meeting on your own if you want, using or actually with any other tool. And then if you need help with putting it on Jenkins official YouTube, if you need it due to whatever reason, you let us know and we can upload it for you. And if you just have a private meeting, okay, put it where you want.
Yeah, what I did is I'm just using my own Zoom account, and then I'm uploading the video to the cloud, and then I just post a link in our channel, in our GSoC channel.
Yeah, but if you guys do a kind of demo, and if you want to have a broader audience, posting it in Jenkins channel might make sense. And if you want assistance to get this uploaded or recorded, let us know.
Okay, I think I have access to that, but before I venture on my own to do that, Oleg, I'll work with you to make sure I'm doing it the right way.
Okay, well, for regular meetings, just use what you want.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Okay. So my audio is still bad, right? So there is a question from Jeff Pierce in the chat. Is there is requirement to record regular meetings? No, there is no such requirement. We ask you to have meeting notes, but we don't ask you to have recorded videos. Yeah, for example, what we did in role strategy project, we actually do only one video meeting per week, but the second meeting we do it in chat, and it's also fine. Okay. Anything else?
That's all for me, Oleg.
Mm-hmm.
It's all for me as well.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. And yeah, I think see you next week or when we have our next sync up. So yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, if you see any missing items, if you see something that we need to deliver on as or please let us know so that we follow up on that.
Awesome. Thank you, Oleg. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of the day or evening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.